What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Welcome on into Let's Bet It. What a weekend it was. Lauren Jbara here with Jared Smith, and we're getting ready to break it all down. Lots to talk about, Jared. How are you feeling after yesterday, Sunday? So much football hitting us.
The Jets won a football game! It's Victory Monday. It's not only Victory Monday for my Jets, Victory Monday for Penn State, and begrudgingly, Victory Monday for your Wolverines. Yes, I will be wearing
Weren't you supposed to be wearing a shirt?
It hasn't come yet. I ordered it. It will arrive, I think, either tomorrow or Wednesday. I believe Thursday's show, maybe Friday's show will be the day that I wear some dopey mitten on my shirt. Okay. I do
you
like
have to hold strong to your bet. You have to hold strong to your bet. That's all I gotta say.
A Lannister always pays his debts, right? No, but it has the UP on it too, which is because I know a lot of Michiganders, as you probably know, you get upset when they don't put the UP as part of the shirt. So it includes that. It's actually a cool shirt.
The UP.
Can't forget about the
UP. Oh, lots to talk about today. Slate of topics. We got Monday Night Football picks because that's happening tonight. We're recapping NFL Week 4. Our friend Jim Manos comes on for his Monday night picks and analysis on that game tonight. And then also, we can never end without our Pickswise play of the day. So you ready for it, Jared? Let's get right into it. Let's get it. Let's bet it. Monday Night Football coming at us. Derek Carr and the undefeated Las Vegas Raiders heading to the City of Angels to take on my guy, Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. And Las Vegas has dominated their AFC West rival. Say that 5 times fast. AFC West rival over the past several seasons. Rival. Since 2019, the Raiders are 3-1 straight up and against the spread against LA. How are you feeling about tonight? What are you in on?
So this line's kind of been, I want to call it like a magnet, and it's been magnetized around these key numbers. So we know about 3 being the key number on the spread side. Yeah. 51 is the key number on the total side. Those are the keyest numbers that NFL final scores land on. So I'm not surprised that we haven't seen a ton of movement, off of 3.5. It's kind of been, just creeping back towards 3. I found a rogue 3 out there at one of the books this morning. Same thing with the total 51. I saw some 51.5s. I saw a couple of 51s with the juice to the over, but I don't expect it to move too much off of those key numbers before kickoff tonight. How I feel about the game, I think this is a spot that Justin Herbert now will get to show you how good he is. He hasn't played a lot of primetime games in his career. The Chargers have been, a mediocre team win-loss wise through his career so far, now in his second season. But ironically enough, we were talking about this last night. One of those primetime games was last year against the Raiders on a Thursday night late in the season. Herbert was fantastic. They won in overtime. He threw for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had the game-winning score in overtime on a QB sneak where he reached it across the goal line like Superman.
I remember it.
He has thrived in these moments before. I expect Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense to be locked in. Now, on the other side of the ball, they're missing some key starters defensively. They're missing Chris Harris, who's questionable. Maybe he will play. But Kenneth Murray, who's their all-star linebacker, he's out. And one of their defensive ends, Justin Jones, is out. So on the other side of the ball for the Raiders, I expect them and Derek Carr to be very productive moving the football as well. This feels like one of those games that's going to go over. I know that's not very scientific, but I get
it. Just feels like one of those ones.
It feels like a game where both teams are going to be in the 20s, and there's going to have one of those quarterbacks going to have a chance to win it late, and it's going to be a fun game. I expect both quarterbacks to be playing their best football tonight.
Absolutely. So what are you in on? What are you putting money on tonight?
So you actually got into the rundown first last night, and you swiped one of the picks that I really like, but I think there's other ones. But I'll let you talk about Keenan Allen. But the other receiver for the Chargers, Mike Williams, has been fantastic. 4 touchdowns in 3 games. He had 2 last week against Kansas City.
Yeah.
So you get both of those Chargers receivers, and I'll let you do your Keenan Allen spiel. Both of those guys are plus money tonight. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of the Chargers receivers catching touchdowns tonight. On the other side of the ball, this number stood out to me. Darren Waller, I found him at plus 140 to find the end zone tonight. Now, I know he hasn't scored since week 1, but if you ask me who the best Raiders red zone weapon is, I'm assuming Derek Carr will be looking for Darren Waller early and often in the red zone. So those are the two plays that I locked in this morning. I'm also tailing you on your play, but Mike Williams touchdown and Darren Waller touchdown, both at plus money. Some plops here on a Monday night.
Yes, I know. Our producer, Jack, wrote it in the rundown. He's like, I need some plops today. So plus money props. I'm all about it. Keenan Allen, anytime touchdown at plus 110. I'm also just sprinkled a little bit on there for the first TD of the game. Oh my gosh, my voice is like going out today, Jared. I don't know.
You're so excited about Keenan Allen.
I know I'm in a little cubicle. I'm feeling it. All of my
in the library, the Monday Night Football library.
In here.
Getting ready.
Exactly. So I also sprinkled a little bit on him having the first touchdown of the game at plus 800 because why not? I mean, if it hits, then yeah, it's great. If it doesn't hit, whatever. But he's been Justin Herbert's favorite target this year. He's seen 33 passes flung his way through 3 games. And it's easy to envision them linking up in the end zone for the second straight game. And I think he's, been a consistent touchdown producer in his career, led the team in touchdown grabs last season with 8. But this year he only has 1, which is kind of surprising for me. But I just feel like that discrepancy should be able to work itself out in weeks to come. And I think that starts tonight. So Keenan Allen, anytime touchdown plus 110, and then first touchdown of the game plus 800. I also like Peyton Barber, anytime touchdown at plus 105. So you're getting some good value in both of these guys. I mean, you look at Raiders running back, Josh Jacobs, he could miss his second straight game tonight or at least be limited in the amount of action that he has. So I look at Barber. He's rushed for 111 yards and a touchdown on 23 carries against Miami. And, his downhill style of running makes him a very appealing option for Las Vegas head coach John Gruden, who his brother – or what am I saying? Brother. I love John Gruden so much. So I would not be surprised.
You want to be his brother.
Jared, I don't know. My mind is all over the place right now. We're having a day. But don't be surprised if Barber finds the end zone at some point tonight. So I like him at plus 105. Some plus money props to start us out tonight.
I like it.
I know.
I'm glad you mentioned the Jacobs thing because I think that's going to affect game script tonight. If Jake now, I've from what I read, and I'll be honest, to me, the injuries in the NFL now that we're into week 5 and guys are really starting. It factors so much into my handicap. Just go look at the box score from that Jets game and tell me that the Titans did not miss having their 2 top receivers in that game. So injuries is huge. If Josh Jacobs doesn't play tonight, I actually think I like the over more because I think it makes the Raiders lean more into the passing game. And I'll be honest, the buzz in Vegas, listen, go look at the standings. There's only one team in the AFC with a 0 in the loss column, and it's the Las Vegas Raiders. So this game does have, and the Chargers are coming off that really good win over the Chiefs. This game has, like when they booked this game, the schedule makers, like before the season started, I don't know if they expected these to be 2 teams competing for first place in the AFC West when they booked this game.
Absolutely.
So I think this game carries a little more weight than 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that's going to make it a little more of an intense game, which would lean me to the under. But again, if Jacobs misses and the Raiders like to, they always like to spread things out. But if they become less reliant on the run, a little more up tempo, and let's be honest, Jacoby Brissett didn't really have many issues in the fourth quarter last week, getting down the field and tying the game up against the Raiders defense.
Yeah.
So if Brissett can do it, I think Justin Herbert can have some success tonight too. This is going to be a really fun game, a shootout, hopefully, a Wild West shootout.
I'm really excited about it. I wonder what John Gruden's brother thinks about this game as well. So lots to go over from yesterday. I had to make fun of myself. I had to.
Of course.
Lots to go over from yesterday. I feel like, we said week 2 or week 1, people overreact. Week 2, people get a little bit more, defensive. Week 3, it kind of comes together. Well, week 4, I feel like we start seeing some trends for teams because it's like, hey, now we have 4 games to base it off of. You can kind of see what a team is going to be like during the season. And a lot happened yesterday, a lot of storylines to unpack. The first one, Jared, I want to talk about the Rams. They looked pretty weak against the Cardinals offense. What did you think about that game?
They're rushing, and that was part of our write-up this week with the Rams-Cardinals game. We really like the Cardinals preseason, and we like them even more now, right? But they were getting 5 in that game, and the numbers said, and I know, in your mind, and this is where that that bias needs to be kind of eradicated out of your system, because in your mind you're thinking the Rams defense is better than the Cardinals defense just because of Jalen Ramsey and because of Aaron Donald and because of just the name recognition that comes with the Rams defense. But when you actually go break down the numbers, the Rams defense has really struggled against the run this year, and that scared me against Kyler Murray and Edmonds and Connor. I mean, they have guys that they got some boogie, they got some scoot with this Cardinals offense, and that was the big issue yesterday. The Rams gave up over 200 rushing yards. That is going to be the issue for this Rams team going forward. If the Rams can't stop the run, they're going to struggle to be consistent on defense this year. And they're going to have some games where they give up 30 points against really good offenses. And Cardinals scored 37 yesterday. I don't want to get too giddy about my Cardinals just yet. Obviously, they're 4-0. Obviously, they're in first place in the NFC West. All of those are very positive things. But we saw it last year. They were great last year, and then Kyler Murray got injured, and then later in the year, things down. So I just want to take it 1 week at a time with Arizona. But right now, last week, I would have said the Rams are the best team in football, and they just got waxed by a divisional opponent at home. So I think a lot of bookmakers are going to probably, decrease the Rams back to maybe that second tier in the ratings this week. And I think the Cardinals probably get boosted up from maybe the third tier up to that second tier where you put Arizona and LA on the same plane.
Absolutely. I mean, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp to me just looked a little bit off, inaccurate, missed each other a couple times. And then Kyler Murray was just absolutely stellar. He picked apart their defense. And you're in on him for MVP this year, aren't you?
No, I have the No, not Stafford. I have the Cardinals Super
Kyler
Bowl.
Murray.
Oh, no, I don't have Kyler Murray MVP. I wish I did.
I
think if you gave out the award today, I would say he'd be the MVP for sure. But that was the one Cardinals preseason bet I did not make. I made the division at 7-1 and the Super Bowl at 44-1. I mean, I've had those tickets since March. Like I have been they've been like an egg. Like I've been
just holding on to them as tight as you can at this point.
And I'll be honest,
missed opportunity with Kyler Murray. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, he was like 25-1 preseason.
Crazy. It's so crazy. Okay, I want to talk about last night because the Bucks-Pats, one of the most anticipated games of the season in Tampa Bay, they survived a major scare and a Brady major embarrassment at that point. 19-17 victory against the New England Patriots on Sunday night. And the weather conditions weren't the best. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to sit out there and watch the game or even play in the game with the conditions like that. But, it still showed that Tom Brady, despite not throwing a touchdown pass, can still lead his team to a victory against his former team. What did you think about that game?
I think so. Certain games throughout the year kind of have their own personality. I thought that game had its own personality to it. Great job. Our boy Andrew Rowe crushed the under there. I was messaging him back and forth in the fourth quarter, and I was like, "Hey, great call on the under." And he's like, "There's still a lot of football left." And I'm like, "Dude, there's 2 minutes left in the game, and it's 17-16. It's over. You're done. You cash your ticket, bro." But I understand the hesitation because when you bet an under in the NFL or in any sport, really, you never know, and things can get crazy. But I felt really good about Andrew's pick. He's a tremendous capper, and I think he really nailed the tempo of that game, which was obviously the weather played a factor too. The weather definitely played a factor in that game, but the tempo of the game was slow. You could tell Brady, I don't want to say got caught up in the emotions because I don't know what was going on inside of his head, but how could you not get caught up in the emotions of that moment? And I think he's happy, maybe relieved to escape with a win. I mean, Nick Folk's kick was maybe 6 inches to the right and that thing skids in. But it didn't. It doinked off the post. Fitting that's how the game ended with a doink.
Word!
I love that word. It's a tremendous word. Only in the NFL does that word hold the meaning that it does. But fun game. The Sunday night game, the primetime games have been awesome so far this year, which is really cool. But congrats to Tom, and it was definitely. I would assume a weight off of his shoulders, and I would guess that they play a lot better next week. Offensively, defensively, they got some issues. Carlton Davis got hurt last night. I think they're down to their fourth string corner. They have got major issues in the secondary. So the Bucks. They face the Dolphins this week. I would assume Jacoby Brissett's going to play a little better than he did last couple weeks, and maybe that's a game that maybe goes over, and maybe the Dolphins keep close because of the Bucs secondary problem.
Okay, I want to talk about this because I know that you're riding high after this one. The Jets win in overtime. What? And then the Giants and Jets both win on the same day. Double what? What is happening in the world? What's happening?
I think I saw some pigs flying across the Hudson River yesterday, just flapping their wings, getting ready to fly out to MetLife Stadium.
Seriously, though, did you find any money growing on trees too?
No, but I found some money with that Jets pick. That's for sure. I got a lot of hate for that this week. I made that the best bet in our capper contest. And John Clark, one of the marketing guys, was like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and hoping for a different result. And I said, John, if the Jets win, you're buying me dinner next week. So, and I think he actually is including Jack in that. So now John has to buy me and Jack dinner this week because the Jets did win. So we're all paying each other's bets off this week with that crazy Jets win. It was a predictable outcome. The Titans were decimated with injuries. Absolutely decimated. Bud Dupree out, top 2 wide receivers out, another offensive lineman got hurt during the game. Mm-hmm. You saw Derrick Henry, do what he does. Over the course of the game, he got better. Yeah, he got better throughout the course of the game. But we were talking about this with Jim Monos before we came on. You could tell that Robert Saleh emphasized tackling Derrick Henry this week because you could tell that they were very aggressive. They just hit the crap out of Ryan Tannehill all day long. I think he had 7 sacks in the game. Yeah. That was the most physical Jets defensive performance I've seen in a long time. And that's why they won the football game, because they kept punching Tannehill and this Titans offense in the mouth. And eventually Tennessee blinked first with the missed field goal in overtime. That was the first real mistake that Tennessee made.
I didn't watch that whole game. When I saw 7 sacks, I had to rub my eyes and be like, excuse me? What just happened? Also,
I like that
Zach Wilson looked. Also, thank you. Also, Zach Wilson looked really good too.
Yeah.
I mean, he finished the game 21 of 34 for 297 yards. He looked good too.
Yeah, and he made mistakes, but he showed the Ted Lasso be a goldfish approach, where boom, bounce right back from them. Made a pick early in the game that was, not a great throw. It looked like a receiver was running in route, and he threw it to the out, and the D-back was just sitting right there waiting for him. And he's going to make some of those maddening rookie mistakes throughout the year, but then he's also going to roll out and tell Corey Davis, hey, go run, and then, chuck it 50 yards off his back foot. He made some throws in that game that were back foot, cross from the opposite hash, cross sideline corner that only a few guys in the league can make. And he's going to go through some growing pains, but he showed you the talent yesterday, no doubt.
Absolutely. Okay, 2 more that I really want to touch on. Cowboys looking really good, and the Chiefs covered for the first time in 11 games. So 2 other big storylines.
Yeah, I'll touch on
the Cowboys first. Right now. They look pretty
the Cowboys are a contender now. In the eyes of the odds makers, they dropped from 24 to 19 on FanDuel over the weekend, on Sunday after they won. And we talk about the market correction Monday, MCM, not Man Crush Monday, market correction Monday. Don't get it twisted. But they are a team now that is being viewed as a contender in the Super Bowl markets. Anytime you drop under 20 to 1 and anytime you start to hop some of those other teams, and I think they're I want to say they're in the top 7 of favorites right now, maybe top 9. I might have missed that by 1 or 2. Yeah. But they are being viewed now as a contender. And to that end, the Cardinals as well, from 34 to 16. So we saw some market correction with some of the teams that had really good Sundays, Cardinals and Cowboys. And now those 2 teams are being viewed as legitimate Super Bowl title contenders in the eyes of the odds makers, and Dallas deserves it. Dak Prescott looked tremendous. The defense still needs some work. I think Carolina's defense maybe was a little overrated based off of their schedule, because I think Dallas really exposed them in certain spots. But Dallas's offense is really good. So I don't want to knock Carolina too much for running into a buzzsaw of the Cowboys offense, which has looked really good with Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott and those weapons on the outside. And I think Dallas is, at least in the eyes of the odds makers now, being viewed as a team that can win the Super Bowl.
What I really liked was the third quarter. It just seemed like the offense and defense were really feeding off of each other. And, the defense put the clamps down on Sam Darnold. Offense in a groove, and Carolina wasn't ready for it. And that was the turning point for me, was in the third quarter. It just felt like the defense was on. I mean, they just worked off of each other really well. And I really liked what I saw. I had a lot of doubts about the Dallas Cowboys heading into this season, especially with Dak Prescott coming off of injury, thinking that he's going to be missing a beat or 2. He missed no beats. I mean, he's had extra beats if you will. And I don't know if that's a thing, but you know what?
No, that's a thing. He's like a hip hop artist.
But I know I'm all in on the Dallas Cowboys right now, and you know I had chips that I took away from the Eagles that I need to put elsewhere, and now I'm going to put it on the Dallas Cowboys because I'm feeling
your chips
good.
into Dallas's corner.
I'm shoving my chips into Dallas. I feel good about it. The last thing I want to touch on, Big Ben, not able to play at the same level. I mean, I said it last week, and I'll say it again. He's appearing less stellar from a physical standpoint. He's not Tom Brady, right? No. And this shouldn't be a shock given how many throws he's attempted over the years, his age, and just watching Pittsburgh. Watching Pittsburgh on Pickswise. Watching Pittsburgh. I don't think he has the juice anymore. I don't.
Well, he's probably not drinking enough juice, right? Too much alcohol. Too much alcohol, probably, right? No, I don't know what his diet is, but here's what I do know. If you want to play a professional sport after the age of, I think Big Ben's pushing 40, right? It's got to be getting close, if not at 40. I don't know his exact age.
40. I think he is.
I'm assuming he's right around that number. If you want to play a professional sport at the age of 40, 39, thank you very much, Jack, you have to commit and overcommit to your body. And let's be honest, he got in the motorcycle accident when he was younger. He's been a little hefty throughout his career. Trust me, I know, I understand, I get it.
Hey, we all feel a little hefty sometimes.
Exactly. And if you want to play a professional sport that is as physically demanding as football at the age of 39, pushing 40, you have to commit to your body. Tom Brady has, and he's looked tremendous. Big Ben clearly hasn't. Now, he did lose some weight in this offseason, but too little, too late, right? Like, you know, it's not something that I think you can just turn on at the age of 39. You have to be consistent with it throughout your career. Speaking of market correction, Steelers go from 75 to 1 to now down to 120 to 1, which means you might as well just throw them out and not even consider even betting any Pittsburgh futures throughout the course of the season, because the odds makers have basically made them such a far long shot that you really can't put any stock into Pittsburgh bouncing back.
I know. Okay, a lot of market overreaction today, or market reaction Monday, or market correction Monday. I was like,
MCM.
MRM? I'm like, no, MCM.
No, MCM.
I'm like, those letters don't work well together. MCM, market correction Monday. There's a lot that's happened, but I know one big one that you want to talk about was the Cardinals moving up from 34 to 1 odds to 16 to 1 odds. Why do you like that?
I'll be honest, at this point, I would not buy in on the Cardinals because that is a big move. You know, that's the biggest. So they've had 2 significant moves in a span of 4 weeks. They started at 48. I bought them in at 44 preseason. Then they dipped a little bit to 48 right before week 1. Then they go from 48 to 34 after that week 1 win over the Titans. So you see the stock just jump, boom. Then they win games that they should have won. They beat the Jaguars. They beat the Vikings. Not impressively, but still they covered against the Jags despite that fluky play. And they beat the Vikings on a last-second missed field goal, which probably should have went the other way, frankly. So they really could be 3-1. But the market stabilized then, and then obviously the big move. When you beat a team like the Rams, that's when you win a game that you're an underdog against, that's going to move the market significantly. So I think the Cardinals are probably a team that you're not going to see them get much higher than 16 to 1 throughout the year. So you probably missed your chance to really gain any significant movement on them. The other 2 teams that I want to mention on the other side that were downward movers. We talked about the Cowboys up, Cardinals up, Steelers down. There's 2 other teams that I want to mention. The Titans from 25 to 31. There might be a time this year where the Titans continue to drop because of injuries. This might be one of those low spots for them, but check the injury reports. Because I think Tennessee's receivers, those guys need to come back. If they do, they face the Jags this week. And I could see them bouncing back and getting a big win. And if they do, then you're going to gain some movement in your direction with that number very quickly. The other one that I would probably stay away from, because I was really disappointed with how they closed this game and how they looked offensively a little bit, was the Saints. They moved down from 33 now down to 39. And unless their defense is scoring a bunch of points and setting their offense up like it did against the Patriots, Jameis Winston is like all or nothing. It's like he's a home run or a strikeout in baseball. Like he's hitting deep shots, but then he's making like really questionable throws over the middle. And so I'm worried about the Saints and I'm worried about the Titans, but I'm more worried about the Saints because The Saints were healthy yesterday, and they still couldn't win. The Titans are not healthy, and it showed. So if you're going to buy in on one of those teams that dipped, Tennessee would be the one, because if they get healthy, I think they're going to bounce back.
A guy that knows a lot about the Saints, our friend Jim Monis, former NFL scout and front office exec, joins us. What's up, Jim? I know you're giving us some Monday Night Football picks, chatting about your favorite team to bet so far, and you spent some time with the Saints. What are your thoughts on them so far?
So it's Monday, still fun day. We have to regroup from yesterday. I'm a big believer. I can't wait for tonight's game. We'll get into that in a second. But I have to talk about something I talked about last week, and it's just the romance I have right now with this bet that I keep making and keeps hitting. It's just like Bachelor in Paradise, how you're always trying to find that right person, who's the right fit. I found this last year. It's like Grocery Store Joe and Serena right now are doing great on Bachelor in Paradise. I'm really happy for them. But it's just
I have no idea what you're talking about, but clearly Lauren does.
Not everybody needs to.
I love it.
No, it's okay. You need to take a break from football every now and then and get your reality TV in.
Absolutely.
The Bills' first half spreads are ridiculous. I've hit last year. They're 4 for 4 this year. Even when they lost to Pittsburgh, they covered the first half.
Yeah.
What they did, that wasn't even real. That wasn't even a real game yesterday.
No.
But unbelievable how much I love Bills' first halves. And that's leaning me towards tonight taking the Chargers in the first half, -2.5. That is going to be my play on this game tonight. I'm going to take the Chargers only because Vegas has actually not started out great in the first halves this year. The Chargers have. They are 7th in first half point differential right now. So I'm going to take the Chargers -2.5 in the first half tonight. But do you want to talk about the Saints?
I do.
Yes.
I do want to talk about the Saints.
So
was
Jared,
I right in my assessment that I just gave a little?
So here it is. So here's what's funny is I'm noticing Coach Payton is a little uncomfortable right now. Their offense, to your point, isn't not figured out how to use. You don't want to use both guys. He used to tell us when the Wildcat offense was real popular, he used to shake his head and said, "No way am I ever taking the ball out of Drew Brees' hands." Well, now what happened last week?
He did last year.
Well, he had to, and Brees did. We'll talk. That's a whole other topic where Brees did the right thing by retiring, like Big Ben and Matt Ryan. But
agreed.
Anyway, that's another topic. We're all over the place.
But I digress.
Back to Jameis. He played pretty well yesterday. He really did. He did not play well against the Patriots. And that remember we talked about last week when he threw that little jump ball heave pass that was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Coach Payton was pissed.
Yeah.
He looked at him coming off the sideline, said, "No, you cannot do that." I noticed yesterday in the red zone, he put in Gimmick Hill.
Yep.
Gimmick Hill has made some tough runs, but Gimmick Hill can't throw the football. He will never beat you. Yesterday, Jameis threw a beautiful touchdown to Kenny Stills that got called back. Coach Payton put in Hill, tried to throw a pass, picked off. Yep. That tells me he is uncomfortable right now with these two and how to really – Coach Payton wants to use tight ends, different receivers. They haven't really involved their tight ends.
Alvin Kamara has less targets than Derrick Henry in the passing game. How does that make sense through 4 weeks?
How? And
that doesn't make sense to me.
It might be Jameis, and you touched on that, where he is always looking down the field, trying to make the big throws, and their offense just doesn't look like how I'm used to watching the Saints offense.
Yeah, that's such a good point because the goal line stuff, and Jim, I always say this too. The best overs to bet are teams that have really good goal line red zone offenses because it's going to be 7 and not 3 or a turnover. Yeah. And you're right. I didn't pick up on that yesterday. Every time the Saints got in the red zone, for the most part, it was Hill. Now, he had success. He did have a couple. I think he had 1 touchdown, or actually, I think he had 2 touchdowns yesterday.
To be honest, he's a nice fit for the red zone because those guys. But once again,
it's the consistency, right? Yeah.
Very interesting.
I don't know. Is this one of those things where the hole that Drew Brees left, is it too big for Sean Payton to get the team back to the playoffs?
It's big in the sense that is Jameis Winston the right guy down in and down out to move the chains, keep the drives going, and not take those home run shots, to your point. And I think I'm not a Jameis Winston fan, but he can throw the football, obviously. And
led the league in touchdowns a couple years ago.
What he can do. I mean, he can throw the football. So Coach Payton is going to do everything he can. It's still, they're still they're still learning. So let's see how it goes. But Winston can throw, but their receivers aren't. I mean, what's so great about their receiving core?
Callaway's looked okay. They need to get Michael Thomas back.
I like Callaway, but yeah. Think Thomas would help.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So,
LJ, what else you got?
Totally. Okay, Jim, I want to get into your Monday Night Football picks. I want to get into your Monday Night Football picks because you said you're in on the Chargers tonight.
On the first half.
Out to you? Do you have any plops? Do you have any plus money props?
So you guys always get me the Jbara parlays, get me excited on Friday.
Jbara parlays. I like that better than just Jbara. It's got like the double ring to it. I like that.
I just hear you guys. Yeah, you guys get into some of that stuff on Fridays. When I listen to the show on Fridays, I like it. It got me inspired for tonight. So I'll do a little prop parlay tonight. You're gonna hate this, Jared, because I heard you talking, but I'm gonna take the under 284 yards for Carr in the passing game.
That's okay.
Only
worried at all about Jacob being hurt and them trying to throw more, or them falling behind and game script dictates over. That would be the two reasons why I would.
And you're right. But they held Mahomes to 260, Prescott to 237. So I'm going off kind of that a little bit. That being said,
I don't hate it.
Okay. Then I'm going with Austin Eckler over 55 yards rushing. The Raiders are terrible against the run, 22nd against the run, and they're giving up 4.8 a carry, 29th in the NFL.
Mm.
And then here's the last one. Waller over 5.5 catches. To your point, love it. Waller. That's that magic number for tight ends, 5.
Yeah.
Waller's going he's going to get the targets. Third downs, the Chargers are not good on third down defense, 28th in the NFL. The Raiders will be targeting Waller a lot, I think, on third downs.
Mm-hmm.
This game tonight to me offers a very fascinating glimpse into what I would say, I don't want to call it the future of the AFC West. I would say the present. Because, and we talked about this earlier in the show, there was not one executive at ESPN that was drawing this schedule up that said, oh, yep, that's going to be a first place AFC West game in week 4. But that's what we have right now. And does it speak to maybe the direction of where this division is going? Mahomes, don't get me wrong, the Chiefs are great, but they still gave up almost 7 yards per play on defense yesterday. That defense is not right. And if that defense is not right, they are not making a deep run in the playoffs. Is there an opportunity in this division for one of these two teams to reach out and grab that catbird seat?
There's no doubt. That Chiefs defense is garbage right now. Steve Spagnuolo was our coordinator for 1 year in New Orleans. And I'm going to tell you what happened. We had the historically worst defense in the history of football. Now, he and Andy Reid go way back. Yeah. Okay, they go way back. So Andy Reid's going to stick by him, and they're going to try to fight through this. But that defense is bad right now. So how can you not think somebody like Herbert or Carr, who are big-time quarterbacks, that's a feast for them?
It's going to be really, really interesting to see how things, kind of how the chips fall where they may, if you will, down the next couple of weeks. It's going to be really fun. Jim, always great having you on the show. Thank you so much. I might be tailing a couple of your picks heading into tonight. We'll see.
Monday's still fun day. Let's go.
Monday's still fun day. Let's trademark it. I love it. All right, Jared, we can't end the show without having our Pickswise 3-star play of the day. Hit me with it. What is it?
I got nothing for you today. It's a Monday.
Nothing.
Well, there's no
Monday's
baseball.
Still fun day.
There's no baseball. And unfortunately, as fun as this game is tonight, our very wise cappers, the ones, it's like they're in a room somewhere doling out stars. They only got to 2 stars in this game on the Chargers. So no 3-star plays today. We're going to have to pick up the slack. So
I know
I
your bet's going to be your bet's definitely a 3-star bet. So you know what?
In my mind,
tell me what it is.
In my mind, the bet is already cash, and I'm already collecting the money. All right, so we did this last Monday night, and again, I have not had a great season betting totals, full disclosure. So this might not be a 3-star play. But I do, anytime I have 2 quarterbacks at the level of Derek Carr and Justin Herbert, and I see that total drift down to that key number of 51, again, when you decrease the sample size to the last 5 years in the NFL, the most landed on total is 51. So this thing opened 52.5. It's gone down now to 51. There's a few 51.5s out there. So do your shopping, because I bet you can find a 51. I grabbed it at DraftKings this morning. And we're going with the over. Again, this is not a very scientific pick, but there's weapons everywhere on the field. The Chargers are a little banged up defensively. You just heard Jim Monos talk about how the Raiders can't stop the run. I expect Justin Herbert to be in rhythm in this game. And I think if they have a lead, and if Josh Jacobs is out and Derek Carr has to throw, that's going to make the tempo speed up. So we're going to take the point, or take the over 51, and hopefully we get some scores early and we can cruise to a victory.
Scores early, scores often. You know me, I love my plus money bet.
Of course.
I have Raiders money line at
I like
plus
this bet.
148. And I just look at the Raiders. They've been strong offensively this season. I mean, they're leading the NFL in total offense, averaging 471 yards per game. And they're also number one in passing offense, 380 yards per game. They're number 2 in first downs, 76. I'm just throwing all the stats out at you right now.
Give it to me.
And they've only committed 2 turnovers this season. 2, including 0 fumbles. So all of that comes together, I think. And it pushes the Raiders to have a scoring average about 30 points per game. And they're scoring on 48.6% of their offensive possessions.
Look at you, numbers nerd.
Thank you. All of those numbers are absolutely stellar. I think that they're capable of keeping the chains moving. And I just have a really good feeling. I mean, they're undefeated right now. They have a big 0 in the loss column. And I mean, who knows? I look at, what LA's been able to do, and they're dead last in the NFL right now in rushing defense, giving up 170 yards a game. So
interesting. Didn't know
I mean, if you break it down, that's numbers. If you break it down, I think that's like
numbers,
6
girl.
yards a carry.
Numbers.
I don't know. I actually have it written down, but I wanted to think that I just did that in my head right now. But I just have a really good feeling. Raiders money line plus 148. I love my underdogs, which I don't really think the Raiders are an underdog.
No.
So getting that,
they don't think they're an underdog.
The Raiders at that value, I feel good about it.
Yeah, I read a quote this week from Derek Carr that says they don't think they played their best football yet, which I think most people would say, even if you have looked really good, you would want to tease that you could be better. But they've had some moments, that were really cool. I mean, they've had some really cool moments to start this season. Going to Pittsburgh, beating the Steelers, winning against the Ravens on Monday night. Like, they've had some games that were galvanizing games. Winning in overtime against the Dolphins when they had that game. They were down early. They came back late. So that is a fascinating team right now, the Las Vegas Raiders. And if they win tonight and they go to 4-0, who's to say that they're not the favorites in the AFC West after another week or two? So right now they have a chance to really, take a stranglehold of that division very early on.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to bet against my Chargers, and especially
you love your boy Justin Herbert.
I know, but at the same time, there's just a lot of value in picking the Raiders money line plus 148. I don't feel like they're that much of an underdog, and so I see a lot of value in betting the Raiders money line. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Monday's still fun day from Jim Bonus. I can't believe you said that. I love that. Monday's still fun day. That's it for us. We had a lot of fun today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Jared Smith. I'm Lauren Jbara. Hope you have a Monday still fun day. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's bet it.